Hi everyone, I'm just opening it on the laptop as well. Yeah, hi Abhinav, hi Shri, and hi Ritik. Yeah, hi Shri, I'm good. What about you? Hi Funny. At the rate happiness. I'm not sure about the name. If you can mention your name, that will be good. But yeah, live batch we are going to start in Jan itself because it's going to be on the holiday time for right now, like Christmas and everything. So we will start the live batch in the Jan itself. Meanwhile, or you can say the recording we have been already passing on to everyone. The previous live batch recording actually. So when we talk about the recording, that means whatever we have delivered to our live batch previously, correct? Like to the batch 9, to the batch 10, whatever we have delivered. Same thing we are just passing on to those who want to avail this. And on that, right now we have started offer as well. You might have already seen if you are the part of WhatsApp group. So that you can avail and you can prepare if you want. And of course, live batch we are going to start in Jan. Hi Ganesh. Hi Nitin. Actually, I'm checking your messages over the laptop. Do you have any project related end to end to explain the interview preparation bootcamp? Yes, we explain the project as well, like how do you start from the cloud, how do you deploy your infrastructure, how do you deploy your application, what kind of component, what kind of tool you are going to utilize, what kind of monitoring tool you will be utilizing. So each and everything we explain and we pass on one actual project on which actually I have worked previously. So that project we explain in detail. Shrikant, I view your all mock interviews really helpful. Okay, yeah, thank you. So the mock interview, I don't think it like it's like a mock interview since we are uploading it over the YouTube platform. So it's a kind of mock, correct? But the kind of questions what I ask, it's very much similar to what I ask to real candidates. If someone is yeah, I am interviewing someone, correct, for my organization or for where I have worked. So I ask the similar kind of question, the same kind of scenario, the same kind of toughness will be there in the questions, correct? So those questions what we discuss or those questions what we deliver in our session or the mock interview or in the video wherever I discuss or my any other colleague discuss. So it's the same thing what is in real, correct? So it's really going to be helpful for you. Even if you are watching the video or you are attending any session, that will be same. I have below couple of questions for you today. Thanks in advance. What are the questions? Uh, okay. In my current company, Telco must serve 90 days notice period. If I look for an transition DevOps jobs, companies are ready to accept with 90 days notice period. See, there are some tricks what you have to always adopt. Yes, of course, there are few companies who accepts 90 days notice period as well, but 70% you will see that they do not go for 90 days notice period in first call, even though they are ready to accept you at 90 days notice period, but they deny it because the kind of timeline what we have correct in the gap in 90 days gap candidate also tries a lot to get a lot of offer and company also tried the same correct that we can hire someone at low cost. So 90 days notice period, that's why they do not really accept. So you can go with the tricks like 60 days notice period. You can update your profile in that way. So always there is some kind of tips and tricks what you can adopt, and based on that you can further talk and negotiate. So 90 days notice period is not that much challenge. In recording, is there any questions related to GitHub Actions? Yes. So, particularly on the GitHub Actions, we have covered like how can you develop your pipeline through Jenkins and through GitHub Actions to deploy your infrastructure. So that kind of complete pipeline we have demonstrated. And yes, of course, there are other questions as well on the GitHub Action side. So it mainly includes when I talk about the recording you say, and when so just see whenever I talk about the recording, either you have asked me over the WhatsApp or you are listening me over here or anywhere you might have seen about the recording. When I talk about the recording, it's never a recording of just now how we are talking right now, correct? What I'm doing is I'm just reading your questions and then I'm talking here. So it's like one-sided if you talk it correctly, correct? But when I say recording of the live batch or when I say the recording of the boot camp, that simply means that you do not have to sit with us at 8 to 10 p.m. That's the only difference between the live and the recording what we are providing. Because see, just suppose that I'm providing a tuition class or I'm running a live class, correct? And 20 to 30 candidates are there. So if I'm teaching them or if I'm answering their questions, correct? Or all of us are on the Zoom call, correct? So if I am just explaining any question and that answer of that particular question, and if someone has the cross question, they will ask the cross question as well. So I'll be replying on that too. So it's the complete that kind of discussion. So the same discussion we provide to those candidates as well who join in the live, and someone who is having the safety issue. Just suppose that today also I received 2 to 3 messages just before this live session. So those messages were from the UK, correct? So when we are in the morning session, they have the 2 to 10 p.m. that time duration. So they are not going to be fit with our time, IST time zone, correct? Or you can say that people who are in India only, but they have the different safe timing. So those recording can be helpful or it's helpful. Already a lot of people have availed that. So that is helpful for everyone who avail that. Why? Because the content wise there is no change. All questions, all discussion, all explanation is going to be same. Only difference between live and recording is that you are not going to sit on Zoom call with us for 2 hours. Rest everything is going to be same. Explanation, video, PDF, everything. Okay, Shahil Gupta, hello, Vijaya. I'm from non-tech background. I learned DevOps for last 2 months. I'm struggling in sales scripting. Please help DevOps from. Please, yes, sales scripting actually we utilize. So based on the C, when you talk about sales scripting or any Python scripting, that completely depends on your project use case. If you just suppose that you have to rotate some log files, very simple example what you have already encountered or you might have heard, correct? If you have to move some files from here to there or if you have to rotate log files, that means from this directory to new directory you have to move log files. Or you can think about any other use case that you have to create 10 users in your database. So you are not going to run 10 commands, create database or the user creation command. You will just create a shell script and and that will work in the loop and that will automatically create all the users. So that kind of shell scripting you have to always do based on your project requirement, correct? So that kind of shell scripting at least you should be knowing, and even if you are not the expert with the shell scripting, at least you should be knowing the syntax, like what are the syntax and what will be the logic, correct? That will also work for you. So just prepare at least that part where you can explain your questions and their answer. For interview preparation, is there any batch? Yes, Nitin, we run batch as well. We have already run, I think, 15 to 16 batch, and we have provided recordings as well for those batches, like whoever avail, and a lot of people have already availed. So we have helped across more than thousands or 2,000 professionals, you can say, uh, across the globe from our country as well and from other country as well. If I talk about other countries, so it's the internet, correct? You know, the diversified range. So we have people from US, from Canada, from Singapore, from Africa, and Ireland, and there are other countries as well. What I might forget right now. So yeah, a lot of people have been helped through that. And if you talk about the live batch, so live batch we will start in the Jan itself. I don't use some tools in every day in my job profile, so I'm not getting some calls. With this course, I will get to learn and able to explain in my interview, right? Yes, you are going to get each and everything which is required for your interview. So See, when you talk about that, you are not utilizing some tools in your everyday job profile, correct? The first shortlisting part is your resume. If your resume talks each and everything, your resume is going to be shortlisted. Once your resume is shortlisted, you are going to have a discussion of 30 to 40 minutes, technical discussion or non-technical discussion, whatever it is. It's managerial round or technical discussion, correct? What I say to everyone, either they are coming from TopMed calls or they are coming from any other like from other platforms, to everyone, I say the same thing that it doesn't matter, or I think I have recently uploaded one video today as well. So it doesn't matter how much you know, correct? What you know and what is actually needed, that matters. So it's not very much needed that if 10 tools are mentioned in the JD or 20 tools are mentioned in the JD, so you should be knowing each and everything. Even if you know 8 out of 10 or 7 out of 10, you can crack the interview because explanation matter. The kind of confidence, the kind of in-depth knowledge you have on the tools, on the skill where you have worked, that matters. Because if you know four things, obviously with the job you can learn the another tool as well on which you have not got the exposure till now. Just suppose that I'm working mostly with the Jenkins or I'm mostly working with the GitHub Actions, correct? I might not be having the exposure on the Argo CD side. I might not be having the exposure on the Elk tool. I might not be having the exposure on like Datadog, correct? But since I know the Grafana, since I know the Dynatrace, I'm just considering it as an example. If I know the Splunk, correct? The same concept we are going to utilize. The only keywords might change, only the tool like dashboard might change, but the concept wise it's going to be the same. That we have to use the logs, we have to filter the attributes, correct? How can we export? How can we import the data, correct? So those kind of concepts are going to be same. So obviously you can learn with the job, but you need to be expert on what you are putting in your resume, and your resume should be the kind of best one you can say, or it should be having all those kind of technical keywords through which your software or any of the ATS software can filter out, because that's the first thing which will be shortlisted. Then only you are going to get the calls. So you should focus on that too. I have career gap of 2 years to enter in DevOps field. Will your course help me to clear interview as most interview are based on real time scenario? This is what we actually provide, Ganesh. So the kind, see, I already talked about the kind of questions what we are providing. Those are not kind of, it's just generic. The kind of questions what we are providing, it's the same what I'll be asking to any real candidate and what I have asked to real candidate before, correct? So it's completely real time questions. It's completely scenario based question, and it does not include only scenario based question. It also includes your troubleshooting questions. It also include your generic questions. Like just suppose that someone has not worked in the DevOps before, correct, and now they are trying to get into the DevOps. So they might not be able to know that what is the kind of day or 2 day activities DevOps guy do. Correct. So that kind of questions also we have put down. How will you explain your DevOps project? That kind of questions is also there. If your Jenkins pipeline is failing due to a storage, how will you troubleshoot? If your deployment is failing due to this particular error, 401 or 403 error code, what kind of troubleshooting you will do? How will you flow? Correct. So each and every kind of questions we have put in our video and PDF as well. Those all together we call it as a bootcamp, DevOps interview preparation bootcamp. So each and everything is included there, and it's very much helpful to clear the interview. Already a lot of people have availed and they have been placed actually. So if I talk about a few organizations where they have been placed, the one guy, if I remember correctly, Manu, he is in Red Hat in Ireland. One guy, Praneeth, got placed in Persistent. One more guy got placed in Persistent only, and along with the Persistent, he got the offer letter from Deloitte, EPAM as well. And if you have recently might have seen the WhatsApp group, I hope most of you might be the part of WhatsApp group only. So he joined, I think, Capgemini, correct? Capgemini, Paytm, Mastercard, a lot of organization they have joined, correct? So I do not remember each and every organization name right now, but most of the company like you can say the TCS, you can talk about Wipro, you can talk about Infosys, Accenture, your Mastercard, your Red Hat, your Persistent, EPAM, Emphasis, correct? So a lot of people have joined at different places. So it really helps. From non-tech, okay, covered. Looking for architect role in my way, holding AWS SOCA certificate, gates at already secure, will help me to stand out from the market during HR filters with 90-day notice. Okay, that's great. I feel the opportunities are less, so to avoid missing opportunity, I must have a public cloud certificate. What is your view on this considering the current market? Okay, so see, if you have a certificate, that will help, that will always help you to get the like resume shortlisting, you can say, because sometimes in the JD, see, J the first call you will get, that will be from HR, and the JD and the kind of requirement who passes, they are the technical team. Like if I have to hire from my team, I will create the JD and I will pass it. Correct. This is how it goes. The technical requirement I will be sharing what is required for my project. If I am looking for a guy who is expert in Jenkins, or if I am looking for the someone who can develop my monitoring system, even though we are part of DevOps, correct? So the kind of technical requirement they should have they should be having certificate or not. Everything goes from the technical side. So your resume is, sorry, your certificate is always going to be helpful for you, but it is going to be helpful at the first point and the last point. What is the meaning of first and last? At the time of your resume shortlisting, and the last, that when you will be negotiating with your organization, correct? Either with your current organization or to the organization where you are going to join. So there you can negotiate based on the skill, based on your certification, based on your leadership quality, everything you can negotiate. So it's a kind of plus point to have the certificate. Uh, Tash with V. Uh, sorry, cannot name, but yeah, hello. With live recording, I think I'll be more serious and focused. See, it's completely to you. If you are already preparing, if you have already planned, so it's 10 plus hours of video what you are going to get, and it's the interactive video. That means we are discussing, candidates are there, so it's going to be interactive. And the best thing, see, what I have seen, I am not sure, but few people out of those 5 days joins for 3 days, 4 days, few joins for complete 5 days as well. Because today you might be free, but the moment when we will start the 5 day session, you might not be, because at the same time you will get some your office work, correct? So you might not be answering, you might not be available at that time too. So it's completely on you. Whatever you like select, you can go with that either through recording right now, or you can join our live batch in the Jan itself. Everything is okay for us, and whatever you have planned, correct? If you're planning to switch right now in Jan or Feb, you can go with this. You can prepare, then you can appear for the mock if you want, or you can simply prepare and you can appear for your real interview. Whatever you are planning, you can plan on that. The best thing what we have right now, and what I can say that right now the same content we are providing on some at some discount actually. So if you want that you can avail the discounted one. Thanks for answering. And how much it costs for live interview preparation batch? That detail you can check out on TopMed profile. We already have the link in the channel description, or in any video description you can find out the TopMed link. Or if you do not find, you can directly WhatsApp us on the number. You can find out any description. If you want, it's 79703 You can just inquiry on that particular number. Finished training but unable to crack the interview, asking all scenario based questions. Yes, this is what happened actually, Ganesh. So in any of the interview, you are not going to get any such question that what is this, what is that. You will not get, because the moment, even if you are putting 2 years of experience, you are like saying to the interviewer that you have already worked as a DevOps engineer for 2 years. And when you say that you have worked as a engineer, DevOps engineer for 2 years, then without scenario it's not going to be like you will not be tested, correct? So the moment if I do not ask that if in this scenario how will you act, or if this is my use case, which solution will be the best, correct? Or how will you develop the architecture, how will you make your networking secure, correct? So if I do not go, or any of interviewer do not go with the scenario, they cannot verify whether you have really worked, whether you have really understood the concept or not, correct? Because see, if I simply ask you like what is BPC endpoint, you might have heard about that. You might have read about the one or two liner that we have to establish EC2 to S3 connection, then we can go with that, correct? But the moment if I ask the same BPC endpoint, and if I ask it to you or to anyone, and based on my experience, what I have connected on the different calls with the different candidates from the different location as well. So I will say that 7 out of 10 were not able to answer this question if I ask the BPC endpoint concept in terms of scenario. I asked about like I asked the same question in terms of scenario, asking about that we do have one application. Just simply for all of you, if I simply ask that we do have this simple application, e-commerce application where we do have 10 items, correct? The 10 products we have on the e-commerce platform, what we want to sell as a customer, and all these 10 products have their own images what we are storing in AWS S3 bucket, and the kind of architecture what we have developed for our e-commerce application, that is completely private network, correct? You can think it like it's deployed over the EKS platform, and the moment when I try to access my website, I can see that all application functionality, that means website functionality, is working very fine. If I click on login button, it's giving me the UI. If I click on any product, it's giving me the detail of that product. But when I click on any product or any UI, I do not see any images, which should be there ideally. So what might be the issue, or how will you resolve this issue? Correct. So if I ask this kind of question, I have seen that 7 out of 10 people were not able to answer this. And why? Because they do not understand the keywords what have been put in your question, correct? So that's the issue. So always you will get the questions based on scenario only, and then you have to grab that from this concept this question is coming, and this will be the kind of explanation, correct? So you have to prepare in that way, and actually we help in that way only. I have not seen any other platform, and till now there might be, but yes, I have seen a lot of candidate coming, just like how you have mentioned that I have finished the training, I have joined this institute from Hyderabad location, from any other location, correct? And sometimes I have already heard this as well. It's not mandatory to mention, but just for information, if you any of you are planning or you might have faced this, that somewhere you join that they will help you in the placement as well, like they ask for certain amount, they will help you with the training, they will help you with the placement, and after the training, either they stress the training for 6 months to 1 year or 2 months to 6 months, and after that they do not help you in the placement. So that's not the actually ideal thing to do, but yeah, sometimes we face this as well. And even though they are going with the training, so they do not teach you in the terms of scenario, and your interview is never going to be theoretical. That what is this, what is that, correct? It's always going to be in terms of scenario. Whether you are 10 years experience, whether you are 15 years of experience, the number of experience you are going to put in your resume, questions will always be according to that. Just suppose that you have 15 years of experience and you are putting 5 years of experience as a DevOps and rest as a other domain. So you will get the DevOps questions based on 5 years and rest other questions based on 10 or 15 years of experience. And when I say rest other questions, that means your uh, kind of thinking, the kind of how will you handle the team, how will you handle other things, because the designation and everything is going to be based on the experience as well, correct? So why I mentioned about 15 years of experience, because I know there are a lot of people who are on the WhatsApp as well with 15 or 20 years of experience. Okay, let me pick up other questions. Finished training. Okay, sorry. What top tools to know crack DevOps interview for 8 years of experience? AWS, Kubernetes, Terraform, Jenkins, GitHub Actions, Linux, Docker, and think I mentioned Argo CD you should be knowing. At least one APM tool you should be knowing. That means if you talk about the current market, Grafana you should be knowing. And if you can learn about OpenTelemetry, that point for you. So basically, if I mention in terms of priority, you should be knowing about AWS Cloud or Azure or GCP, whatever you are comfortable. AWS is in high-end market. So AWS, Kubernetes, Docker, Terraform, your Jenkins, GitHub Actions, Linux, and the Git commands, your kubectl commands as well for troubleshooting, and one of the APM tools. These are the kind of basic 6 to 7 what you should be knowing at least. Apart from this, there are so many tools, so you can go with that. Start with this one if you are starting just. What is your view on market expectation with ML ops for architect role? Do they expect ML ops as well? So see, if you are like entering into the DevOps, so no one is going to ask you about the ML ops or the AI ops, correct? But if you have already the kind of experience and your JD ask, like the company where you are going to join, if their JD ask about the AI and ML ops, and if you have the knowledge, so it's a plus point for you because things are moving towards that, correct? So it's always a plus point to have the technical skills which are the latest in the market, which are currently trending in the market, correct? But even if you do not have, and if you are appearing for the solution architect role or any other role, and if their JD does not focus much on that, you are good to have the DevOps skills, which are the kind of stable DevOps skills, you can say, the one what I just mentioned. TCS is asking for LWD email. I have not registered, sorry, I have not resigned yet, but I have cleared all the rounds. I had attended the interview with saying serving notice period. How to handle this now? You can put down your paper now. So it's about the TCS, and you can ask about the early release as well. Based on your project dependency, you can get the early release. I'm not sure, like bonding with your manager, bonding with the HR, but if it's good, you can get the early release as well from HR, from your project manager as well. Like whoever is there to from where you can get that. So everything can be manageable. It's not like it cannot be managed. The 90 days notice period, everyone does in that. Without having any offer, no one resigns. Correct. That's the very real truth. Without having any offer, no one resigns, except in some scenarios where people resign due to the other reasons. But everyone accepts the offer first, and this is the best way as well. That you accept the offer first, and then you put down the paper. Because if you put down the paper before, in interviewer the perspective as well, you do not have any offer, you have just resigned, correct? So that makes a negative impact. So you can handle, you can just talk to your manager or HR, and you can, if it's required, you can go with the written email as well, and you can get this early release, and you can negotiate the same at their point as well. It's both way. You talk to your current HR as well, and you talk to your next HR as well, that due to this project dependency or something, they are not leaving me. You can like have those kind of things. It's just a story what you need to narrate. In today time, AI ops is required for DevOps in fresher entry level. If required to explain what topics we need using AI in DevOps, it's never required, Shuman, and it's not like that. You always need AI ops to make an entry as a fresher in DevOps. It's never required. You just go with the basic, because if you have command on that, you can go with other things. You can do the learning as well. So it's not required that you should be having the knowledge on the AI ops side. I think only 10 days back I have not shared that screenshot in our WhatsApp group, but even I have not asked about the college name from where he was. One of the candidate joined, not sure which company he joined, but he got the offer from Capgemini, Infosys, and one more company. Three company he had the offer, and the fourth offer also he got from some other company. He had mentioned, but I do not remember right now. So he is in final year right now, eighth semester of the BTech, correct? And he has got four offer. So he is still fresher. He will be joining the organization. He is in final year, correct? So it's not required that you should be knowing the AI ops. You should be expert on the skills which is very much critical in the DevOps. And the critical skills I have already mentioned, like cloud, then Kubernetes, Docker, Jenkins, GitHub Actions, Linux, Git, and one of the APM tool. These are the critical which you should be always knowing. Durga Rao. Okay, yeah, hi. Is it safe keep 4+ experience in resume and switch? I have total of 6 years of experience in IT. Yes, it's very much okay to put 4 years of experience. The only thing what you should do, that you should be having the knowledge of 4 years of experience. When you say 4 years of DevOps experience, you should be having that much knowledge where you can justify that I have worked as a 4 years, even though you have not worked. Because every time I say that explanation matters. It doesn't matter what you have worked upon. If you are able to explain the concept in the similar way, how your 4 years DevOps engineer will explain, you are okay to go with. And it's not about 6 years of experience. You have 6 years of experience only. People have put in the 5 years or 6 years of experience. Those who are having 15 years of experience, those who are having 20 years of experience. So I have interacted to a lot of candidate and to a lot of professionals actually. I will say that is the right keyword. I have interacted with a lot of professionals from the different geographical location, and they put in this experience in their resume, 5 years, six years of experience, and they go with that. They have joined other organizations as well now. In 30 days training course, if I enroll, and are there any hands-on project, because I do not have experience in DevOps and will get project at end, so I can explain that in interview. Yes, you get that, Ganesh. So in that 30 days training, what we do, so actually live batch we will announce in the Jan for this one as well. And if you want the recording, so it's the recording of the live batch, just like the how we have talked about the bootcamp. So that also you can avail, and that includes your AWS, Kubernetes, your Terraform, your Jenkins, your GitHub Actions, Linux, and Git commands. Correct. So it includes all these things, and with all these skills, we have demonstrated the hands-on thing. Because if we just go with the theory, once again I will say the same. If I go with the theory, that is of no use for you. Correct. The moment if I do not let you know that how VPC peering is done, how transit gateway concept is actually implemented, how a single application can be deployed over the EKS platform in terms of like pod, in terms of deployment, how if your pipeline is failing, if your pod is not getting started, how will you troubleshoot in actual, how can you write your Docker file from the scratch, and what is the meaning of each and every command we write in the Docker file. Correct. So if I do not demonstrate the live on your call, or if I do not demonstrate in terms of practical, you will never be able to understand. Correct. So we go for each and every concept in real with practical. Just suppose that you say that I have developed 10 modules in the Terraform to provision infrastructure. But what if you have never seen any code, if you have never tried writing any Terraform code, correct? So we help you in each and everything. We help you in writing Terraform code as well. We write in front of you as well, and we do the demonstration, and you can practice the same. So everything we cover in that way only. I'm asking because 30 days less to complete all roles. So since you are mentioning that you are entering in the DevOps project, we have created our structure of the training in that way only, which will help you with the actual requirement. We are not going to talk about that how Helm started, who invented Helm, who invented Python. We are not going to talk in that way. Most of the institute you might have seen this that Helm was started by this particular man. Helm was started in this 1930. Those kind of things we do not talk. We talk with on the things which is utilized in the real project. Correct. Which you are going to do when you will join any other organization. Correct. So when we talk about the Terraform, just simply talk about the Terraform. Correct. How will you install Terraform on your local system? How will you install Terraform on your server? How can you write your Terraform code in your Visual Studio Code, and that through that you can log in your AWS account, and then you can create the infrastructure. Okay. So each and everything we explain from the scratch in technical terms. We do not talk anything just like a story. So those 30 days training are structured in that way, which is going to really help in the terms which is actually required for you, nothing else. And it's the continuous 30 days. Correct. It's not like that the weekend. So it's continuous 31 days actually. It's continuous 31 that we have created, and we have organized that folder structure. How are the expectations if we switch after 4 years of experience in DevOps? You are going to get all those kind of Shubham, okay. You are going to get all those kind of scenario based questions and their answer, like that you will have to prepare in terms of scenario. Okay. What is else? Give me any suggestion on how to get calls from Naukri. Not getting any calls. Just update your Naukri profile. That's the only way update your Naukri profile, ask for the referral, and update your resume as well. Your resume should be the that kind of resume which should get shortlisted by software, because no one is going to read your resume or anyone's resume. Even if I put my resume, no, not a single HR is going to read that, correct? It will be filtered first by the software, and to get filtered out, your resume should be having those kind of content, those kind of technical keywords which can be filtered out. So if my software is looking for 100 keywords which should match with the JD, and your resume is only having 20 keywords, it's not going to shortlist. So your resume should be having those kind of keywords, those kind of technical things which can be shortlisted, correct? So update your resume, update your Naukri profile, ask for the LinkedIn referral. That's the way to get the number of calls. That's the way to optimize your profile. In DevOps is required full AWS syllabus course. You cannot go with the full AWS syllabus course. That's the harsh truth. In AWS, it's the multiple domain itself, correct? Data engineering people also utilize the AWS cloud. DevOps guy also utilize the cloud. Your development team will also utilize the AWS cloud services, correct? So there are a lot of services. So you do not have to prepare each and every service of the AWS. Based on what you are preparing for, according to that you will prepare your AWS services. So in generic, if I talk about for the DevOps, you are going to prepare PPC, EC2, RDS, S3, IAM roles policy, Cognito, SNS, SQS, SES, CloudWatch, API gateway. These kind of services you are going to prepare, and EKS I missed. So these kind of services you will prepare, and based on that your interview will happen. With this course I can update my resume as per our learnings here, right? Sorry, you will be explaining day-to-day activities as well. I will be getting questions as per current role scenario. Yes, you will be getting the current roles, sorry, the questions which will be relevant for your DevOps interview. Hi Manish, I joined a product based company 6 months ago. Oh, wow, very good. DevOps Horizon. Okay. I have 3.8 years of experience. It is my third company. Good. Is it okay to switch even at the same salary? Okay. Work environment is toxic. Yes, if you feel work environment is toxic, I'm not sure how much toxic and what kind of toxicity if, you see, but if you see that it's not compatible with you, or you are not compatible with that kind of work culture, what is there in the company, obviously you can switch at the same salary as well. But the thing is that obviously it's not about the same salary. You might get the same, or you might get very less hike, you can say, correct? 10%, 30%, or 8%, those kind of, because it's going to be appraisal time as well. Right now the time, if we talk about, it's December, correct? So sooner you might be getting appraisal or something. So based on that you can negotiate, you can talk that I'm leaving this company. You will not be talking the completely honestly. You can mention any other story. You are to the next organization. You are not going to talk about the toxicity. You can mention any other story, that the kind of skill set, the kind of role I'm not getting what I had assumed. Correct. So based on that, you can negotiate. You can switch to next organization. You can get some hike as well. But if you do not feel comfortable, if you do not feel compatible with like yourself, you can switch. There is no issue. And being your experience 3.8, it's not an issue. You can always switch. 30-day course, as in, can you tell course name, sir? It's DevOps training. The 30 days course is DevOps training that you can find out on the TopMate profile as well. And that TopMate link you can find out in any video description or in the channel description as well. And for the interview preparation, the course name is DevOps Interview Preparation Bootcamp, which provides you the kind of each and every content, like the video which is having the explanation of each and every interview questions and their answer, and it has the written questions and answer as well in the PDF. And right now we have been offering discount as well, so you can avail that too. And content wise it's going to be same. Once again, content wise there is no change, it's the same what we deliver in the live. So right now it's time, I'm not sure about your organization, but right now it's December end, actually it's the 1 week left, correct? So you might be having the time as well to prepare for yourself. It's the year end and the Christmas and everything. So right now you have free time. If you want, you can avail, you can prepare, and you can plan for your next phase. So this is the right time to prepare. You might not be having much workload. Generally, you might not be having. Any advice for junior DevOps engineer who are trying to get in, and how important really the projects are? Projects are really helpful. When you say the junior DevOps, I'm not sure how much experience you are going to put, but even if you are going to put your 2 years of experience, considering it as a junior DevOps, you should be knowing how to troubleshoot. You should be knowing if you are a DevOps guy or you are working as a SRE guy as well at the same time. So you should be knowing how to troubleshoot, how to keep your services available, how can you create your postmortem, RCA, root cause analysis, correct? How can you do monitor the system? So those kind of things at least you should be knowing. And what and when I talk about the project, you might have seen my videos before as well. So the project on which you are working, you should be having the knowledge of that project. Sometimes what happens that people have really worked for 2 to 3 years or 4 years on their project, but they do not understand that what their product is or what their project is actually doing. They just know what they are doing technically, but what is the actual use case of their project, they do not know. So you should be knowing your project in depth, at least in that much depth where you can explain your project, and the people or like the kind of interviewer or in to anyone to whoever you explain your project, they will be able to understand what you are working upon, correct? Just leave the technical, but you should be able to understand your project and you should be able to explain the project as well. So that much knowledge you should be having. So it's important to have the knowledge on the project side as well, and your real implementation, because that will help you to explain the answers as well. Okay, 4 plus years of experience. Are they ask any programming questions in interview, especially Terraform? On Terraform, they can ask 30%. It happens 70%. People do not ask you to share the screen and write down the questions. Sorry, write down the code, but 30 to 40% you will see that they might ask you to write down the code. At least write down a code where you can create a EC2 block, where you can integrate your volumes, AVS volumes, where you can define security groups for your EC2, or how will you create your database, correct? So you should be knowing at least the syntax, what I say. You might forget out of the 20 attributes which are there for EC2, you might forget 3 to 4, but you should be knowing what are the required attributes. If I am going to create EC2 through Terraform, I should be knowing what is the AMI ID, correct? So AMI ID attribute should be there. Instance class should be there. Because without these attributes, you will not be able to create EC2, correct? And if you do not remember, if you are not able to write, that means you have never written the EC2 block Terraform code, correct? So it should be you should be knowing that much thing in every skill. Either it's Kubernetes YML files, or Terraform code, or it's Jenkins pipeline, anything, correct? Evening time classes happens at 8 to 10 p.m. Live batch happens at 8 to 10 p.m. And live batch we are going to start in Jan. But before that, if you want to prepare, you can always avail our recorded session. And once again, recorded doesn't mean it's pre-recorded. It's the recording of live batch. The way, if I interact with any one of you over the call, and if I record that, and if I pass the same recording to you, you will be able to understand, or any of your friend will be able to understand that what we discussed over the call, correct? So it's that kind of recording. I have 8 years, and 2026 MLOps is going to high up. How much package we can expect in 2026 in product based only? It completely depends on your current package, correct? So the number, just suppose that someone earning 50 LPA, they will always expect 70 or 80. Someone earning 10 LPA, they cannot expect those numbers, correct? So I'm not the HR. HR might talk in this way, but the thing is that always company decide your next package, or the HR team decides your next package based on the current, based on your interview, based on the negotiation. How can you negotiate? That really matters when you are joining any other company. So that kind of negotiation skill do you have, or the kind of parameters what you have based on what you are going to negotiate, that really matters after getting the offer. DevOps course fee you can check out over the website. Is it good decision to resign without offer in hand and start applying for DevOps roles? I do not recommend it ever. First, get the offer. Either it's a small company, medium-sized company, or service-based company, product-based company. Just grab one offer at least, and then put down the paper, because that gives you the confidence. Just suppose that you do not have any offer apart from the technical and other technical discussion. I talk very honestly. Just suppose that right now you do not have any offer and you put down the paper, you will start feeling stress. Your confidence itself will start getting down. Correct. I have interacted with lot of candidates, and based on that also I'm just saying that I have seen people where they start losing the confidence just because they were earning good, but right now either they have been laid off, or like they have just put down the paper and now they are not getting the offer. Correct. So those period, the kind of the time period, you will say that you do not have offer and you have put down the paper. So your confidence is going to be down. You are not getting any constant income if you do not have any other backup, and it will just lower down your confidence. So it's not recommendation from my side that you put down the paper and then look for the openings. You just get at least one offer, then you put down the paper. Any advice for fresher getting into DevOps with open source experience? Kirti, okay. I think yeah, we have interacted over the WhatsApp as well. So the kind of see, when you are planning to get into the DevOps, it's the same thing. Like you should be uh, preparing for the cloud, the first thing. Then you prepare for the Kubernetes, you prepare for the Terraform, you prepare for the Jenkins. At least, if since you are kind of fresher, you are not getting for the GitHub Action. Just prepare AWS Cloud, Kubernetes, your Docker file, Terraform, and your Jenkins file, and Linux command and Git commands. So these 4 to 5 skill set, if you prepare, you are good to go with the DevOps. And since you are fresher, no one is going to ask that much advanced question for you. Correct. For fresher, it can be like what is that, those kind of how you troubleshoot, what kind of command you utilize. So with the help of that, you can always get into that. So just prepare those 4 to 5 skill set. End-to-end project explanation will be there in the course, so I can use same when appearing for the interview. Yes, it will be there. End-to-end. See, when you talk about the project, I have explained the project on which I have worked upon. And if I just need to give you the overview, you might have heard about the ServiceNow tool, correct? You might have already utilized, or you might have heard, since you are the part of IT, if I assume. So you might have heard about the ServiceNow tool, where we create the ticket, or many organizations utilize the service. It's a ticketing tool. So the kind of equivalent project I have worked upon, and the same I explain in our sessions as well, and same I pass in our PDF as well. Same I have explained in our recorded session as well. It's recording of the live. So the same project I explained, guys. So same you can put, and it's the real project. So you can put down the same project and you can explain the same. If I enroll now, the can I get access to your recorded video and PDF, and after that I can join your live session in Jan for interview preparation bootcamp? Uh, Arun, okay. So it does not go that way. So if you avail the recordings, every service what we provide, that is the separate one, correct? So recording is separate, live is separate. And on the recording, we are of course we are right now providing the discount, so you can avail that. And as I mentioned, content wise it's going to be same, so there is no difference. If you avail the recording, then also you are going to get the same. If you join for the live, then also you are going to get the same. The only difference between the live and the recording is that in recording you are going to sit with us at 8 to 10 p.m. in the evening in IST time zone. That is the only difference between the live and the recording. And apart from this, there is no other difference. And obviously, yeah, the cross question what you might be having, or most of the you might be having, that what if I get the recording and then I have a counter question if I have any doubts. So for that, we are always here to help you. For all the people, I think you are also the part of our WhatsApp community. So right now we have the two WhatsApp group, the DevOps interview community, and the second one is DevOps with peers. I think that is the name what we do have. So in that, whoever is there, whoever has availed or purchased those recording, or those who were in the live batch, or those who were not even the part of any paid bootcamp batch, correct, or the paid live or paid training, nothing, correct. They are just uh, like attached with us, correct. So whoever is having any kind of questions, we always interact, and I think yeah, most of you might be already knowing these things, that it doesn't matter whether you have joined, you have not joined, we are always here to help you. Okay. So the kind of questions you will be having, we are always going to reply on that. We are always going to help on that, be it technical, be it non-technical. Is it useful for 8 years experience, guys? We have helped the candidate from 2 years freshers up to 20 years of experience range. So obviously it's going to be helpful for you too. Vinayak, okay. In current organization, we have only CI, no CD. So how I can explain in interview that I have CD as well on Kubernetes. Also, I do not have exposure on AWS. I know Git, Ansible, Docker, Jenkins. For that, you will have to like prepare with the questions, the kind of scenario based question, the kind of project you will have to prepare, and based on that only you can like answer how you have worked. Since you have don't, as you have mentioned, you do not have exposure on the CD side, you do not have exposure, I do not have exposure on AWS side, correct. So you should be knowing that how much services or what all services we utilize at DevOps engineer, correct, and what is the use case of which service, in which particular scenario which service will be useful, correct. So those kind of concepts you should be knowing. How can you tackle the questions which will come in terms of scenario, correct. So I already discussed one question based on scenario. You have application, your e-commerce application, you have the 20 products, and you see that product images are not loading. It's the private networking. So how will you handle this kind of scenario question, correct? So I just talked about this particular question the moment when I started this live. So you will have to prepare accordingly. This kind of question, how will you handle, correct? I had 5 years career gap, 50% knowledge on AWS and DevOps, now working for 100%. Is it okay to go with fake experience now? You can go with that. To simply see, when you say fake experience and you have not worked 5 years, so I'm assuming that you might be utilizing some documents or something. You might have already planned that thing. But even if you are going with that, and you find each and every document to be helpful for you, and you are just concerned about your knowledge part, so you can put any numbers of experience and you will have to prepare according to that, because the questions are going to be the same based on your experience. If you put 2 years, questions will be as a 2 years experience. If you put 8 years of DevOps experience, question will be according to 8 years of DevOps experience. So you will have to prepare according to that. And also guys, if you find the things valuable, you can subscribe our channel as well, because that's the thing what motivates us to create more content, and to provide information, to provide like valuable content as well. So if you find it relevant, and I think when you are joining you already find it relevant, so you can just click on that subscribe button as well, because that helps us a lot. Recently, I got laid off in April. Oh, sorry. I learned AWS and DevOps how to handle. What you want to handle, actually, I couldn't understand the complete concern. But if it's about, okay, 3.6 years of experience you are putting as DevOps, you can prepare yourself at the same experience, like 3.6 years of experience, and try to handle all those scenario based questions based on 3 years, sorry, 4 years, since it is 3.6. So just prepare your scenario based question, their answer, the project explanation, your introduction, each and everything, and then you are okay to go with that. What's current DevOps job market, and do you think AI will reduce DevOps role? I do not think, Shuash, I do not think that AI is going to reduce the DevOps roles. It is going to help you to you can say make you more productive. This is how AI is currently helping to everyone. It's going to make you more productive because the thing what you were doing in 1 hour, 2 hour or 3 hour or in one day, because you had not a choice to troubleshoot, you had not a choice to get through a lot of internet websites, correct? Right now you can find out the solution, the kind of root cause very easily. So those kind of thing you are going to get very easily, and it's going to help you in troubleshooting, it's going to help you in your productivity, it's not going to reduce. A very simple example, even it might not be the relevant, but very simple example. If you ask what is 10 plus 12 to chat gpt, and it will give you the answer 22. But if you say the same thing to chat gpt that this answer is not correct one, 22 is not the correct answer, it will modify the answer next time, it will say 32 or something else. If you want to test, you can simply test it, a very simple test, correct? So AI is always going to give you a path, it is going to always help you with the correct path with the troubleshooting, it's going to help you in your productivity, but it's not going to replace anything right now. I'm working as a storage admin. I have learned DevOps tool through YouTube and other open sources. I have attended 4 to 5 interview for DevOps for 3 years, but not loan log. What to do next? So you should see that where are you liking, correct? And mostly when you have talked, according to, it might be the very generic thing, like the kind of question what you have asked. Mostly people face challenges with the scenario based question, correct? Since you have not worked on the DevOps, you have just prepared yourself, correct? And the moment when you have prepared yourself and you have not prepared yourself in terms of scenario based question, in terms of how can you handle the real things, correct? So then you will not be able to, because see, the kind of explanation only tells whether you have really worked upon that thing or not. So few days back, I was interacting with one of the candidate, I'm not sure the, so okay, so I was interacting with that and based on the kind of answer what I was getting, I could understand that the person is just reading, correct? It's not the explanation, just like how I'm talking. So I'm not reading anything, whatever I'm talking, correct? Whatever is coming in my mind, I'm just speaking. So the kind of answer you will pass on, the kind of explanation what you will put in your interview, correct? That only clears that whether you are reading or whether you have already worked upon, correct? So the explanation should be strong, even though you have not worked. So the kind of those kind of understanding, that level of explanation should always be there in your interview. Then you can handle. There is no issue. Damon, okay, hello. So I think I have received a lot of questions. Some clients are asking Terraform and CI/CD. Does it works for job without Docker and Git? When you are appearing for DevOps, it should always be knowing this. It's a very much mandatory skill to know the DevOps, to know the Terraform, to know the CI/CD, to know the Kubernetes part, to know like how can you write the Kubernetes file. These are the very much mandatory skill set what you should be knowing if you are appearing for the DevOps positions. In the interview, how many questions will ask an average and how much they will keep interview for 3.5 years? It's always going to see based on the your kind of explanation. The see, even though your interview is for an hour, it's scheduled for an hour, and if you are not going in that way, they might end up your call in 30 minutes. And if you are going good, they might stretch for next 10 to 15 minutes as well. So it completely depends how your interview is going. Basically it goes for 30 to 40 minutes average, and the kind of questions you will face 20 to 30 based on your interaction. You might like face 10 questions as well, you might face 20 to 30 questions as well. AWS services for the DevOps. VPC, EC2, RDS, S3, IAM, RDS, EKS, S3, and Cognito, SNS, SES, SQS, CloudWatch, and Lambda function API gateway. These are the basic services. KMS, Secret Manager. You can prepare and you can appear for the interview. What type of project is required today industry to hiring a fresher DevOps entry level? For fresher, I simply recommend that you just understand how can you deploy a simple application to EKS cluster. That's a very simple project. What you should be doing, just develop, or you just utilize a code from open source, and put down that your code in your VS Code, Visual Studio Code. Build your infrastructure, build your pipeline, build your Docker file, create the image out of that, and all these things should happen through automation. Correct? Building your infrastructure, building your pipelines, building your deployment, everything. Correct? And then you would simply deploy it as a container. It should be running as a pod, and then you can access through one application URL. That means if I hit abc.com, I should be able to see your application what you have deployed. If you are able to do this much, you are okay to go with your project. Is it okay to use fake experience? What things should be taken care of fake experience? I do not recommend this, and I do not promote this. So in this live call, actually, I don't cannot talk about the fake experience, but always there are some tips and tricks what you can utilize. Any other questions anyone have? Okay, so meanwhile, someone else put any questions, I will talk about here about the boot camp, what we do have, and the kind of thing what we are providing right now. I will just take 1 or 2 minutes more. So, the interview preparation boot camp, what we have been offering, and through which we have already helped a lot of candidate, as I mentioned before as well. So, in that actually, we help with all kind of interview questions, like it includes your AWS, it includes your Kubernetes, it can includes Docker, it includes your Jenkins, your Terraform questions, correct? And it includes your scenario based questions, concept based question, troubleshooting question, DevSecOps question, Git question, Linux question, each and everything we cover. Along with that, we also cover the hands-on, uh, like practical, you can say, correct? How do you build your infrastructure? How do you troubleshoot? How do you create your VPC pairing? So those kind of practical thing also we cover in our bootcamp. And all this recorded session we are providing right now to you. And the recording, that means it's the recording of live batch where we have already discussed with 20 to 30 candidates. Correct? So those recording we are passing it to you. And if you have any cross question, you can always come to us. You can always ask questions over WhatsApp. We are always there to help you. Okay. So why I'm talking about the bootcamp right now, because we have been offering a huge amount on that from the actual price what we never offer. So being it's end year, we are offering some discount as well, and it's the heavy discount from our side right now. And yes, of course, going forward in Jan we are not going to offer you, so it's a year in. So right now you can avail that. It's a good time to prepare from your end as well, and it's good time from our as well, because we are offering discount. So right now you can grab this and you can prepare yourself. You do have free time right now. Of course, I can assume that you might have been having free time, because it's already 22nd of December. After 2 days, it's Christmas. So lot of organization, considering the US market, considering here as well, service-based, product-based company, everywhere it's going to be kind of fridge, or you can talk about it's the timeline where every client, every user is going on a rest mode, correct? So for now, if you are preparing, if you are planning to switch, it's a good time to prepare. You can simply sit, you can prepare, you can watch out the videos for 2 hours or 3 hours in one day, and in 5 days you are prepared for that. Or just suppose that you are going it for the DevOps thing for the first time or second time, so it might take like more time, correct? Then also you are going to prepare yourself in 10 days, and then you need to just revise. Whenever you have interview scheduled, you can just open your PDF an hour before your interview, and you can just go through the questions, you can go through the concepts we have written down, each and everything. Like, you can say we have prepared notes for you, simply, correct? So the kind of pointers, the kind of questions, the kind of explanation what we have written, you can simply visualize and you can prepare. So it will not take a lot of time. In an hour you are going to appear for the interview, you will be able to prepare yourself. So it's the best time for you to avail that. And if you want any kind of suggestion, any preparation, or any guidance, one-to-one call, of course you can book those kind of calls as well through Chat. And the website and other details obviously you can find out in channel description. In your bootcamp, have you covered all the AWS services with hands-on and practical? Yes. What's the name? Saveg Hunters. Okay. The kind of channel name, it says Saveg Hunters. Okay. Yes, we have covered the AWS services which are required in the AWS DevOps, and which is generally required, correct? The kind of services we have worked upon. So see, whatever we are providing in the bootcamp, it's the same on which I have worked upon. So I'm not providing something which is generic. I'm providing on which I have worked on. So you can just simply think that I'm providing my experience to you, even though you have not worked or if you have worked. I'm passing on my experience to you. The kind of experience I have right now, or my team has right now, with their experience, or the kind of interaction we have, or the kind of challenges what I see for you guys, correct? So we have consolidated each and everything, and then we are passing it to you. So it's always going to be the real thing what we are providing. Nothing is just like copy pasted. Which programming language is best for DevOps? Python, you can go for that. Any other questions anyone has? Guys, please subscribe to the channel as well, because we are not doing anything like see the kind of audience what we have, and the kind of community what we are building. Everyone is professional, so it's not a entertaining platform. So it's only you guys who can help us to grow. And it's not about us. When I say help us to grow, that means all of us who are like part of our community, correct? So if it's just like that one thing, if one of your family member grow, everyone is going to grow, correct? So it's the same thing. So just help us in that too, because it's the technical thing. So we do not get anything else from anywhere. It's your numbers only, the kind of subscribe you do. That is the thing what we motivate. That is the thing what actually motivates us to create the content to help you a lot. The kind of screenshot what I pass in the WhatsApp community, or over the YouTube post, over the LinkedIn post, whatever I pass, that is the kind of motivation. The number what we see on the channel, that is the kind of motivation. The kind of comment what we see in the your YouTube post or YouTube videos, that these are the kind of motivation for us. I'm not getting any other questions, so I see. I think all of you have asked your questions, and there are no more questions. Okay. Okay, guys. So we will just close this. And if you have any question, if you have anything else you want to ask, or if you want to do any inquiry, you can just simply drop your query. I will just pass on the number here as well in the chat. I'm just going to pass, and I will share TopMate URL as well if you want to do research, or if you want to find out anything else. So you can like explore our services on the TopMate platform. You can if you want to inquiry over the WhatsApp, you can just do inquiry as well. And yeah, let me know if you have anything else to discuss. Thanks everyone. Thank you. Bye bye.